4933, take a Mayhead, need about 20 cars, 20 per cut.
Okay.
Here. Now I bet you can hear me. Could you hear Evan all right? So now we've got our audio issue resolved, and we've got an autorack train going by Trempealeau. Can everyone hear Evan as well?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
It looks good on the sound check. Let's see here. Hopefully we'll get a response here from somebody telling us that that our audio is actually coming through. We definitely are. All right. So they can't hear Evan. Yeah. It's either that or... Let's take a look here. This is always the difficulty with live broadcasts, is that sometimes you do have some technical difficulties.
So you're coming in crystal clear.
All right.
I just gotta wait till we're on call.
Right. So there's that, and there's that. All right, so that's me, and I'm talking.
And this is me, and I'm talking.
So we're just going to go ahead and remove this. Well, there was an autorack train going by Trempealeau, so that was our first catch of the day. I'm going to switch over here to Belle Plaine, and we've got one to roll by at Belle Plaine also. That was literally just on camera of just a few minutes before we got on here live. So what do we have for a... A coal train going by East Dubuque. Let's switch over to the coal train that's going by East Dubuque, because that is actually a fairly rare phenomenon. Let's see what we've got here. Do you suppose this is one of these storage moves?
No, it's loaded. I see coal in there.
All right. So we've got an eastbound coming by East Dubuque. I mean, it would make sense if it's loaded that it's a loaded coal train, right? Got a pair of CP GEs there behind that BNSF power.
Good, Security at 5, GTV 4933.
All right.
Quite interesting. I wonder where this train's going.
Yeah, no kidding. Unless, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about the BNSF running any detours or reroutes.
Yeah, I mean,
So not really sure what's going on there. Craig Williams wants his money back for a late start. Yes, full refund, absolutely. Be mailed out immediately upon the completion of the program.
Steel Highway reimbursement.
So far.
Yes. All right.
One more car.
Yeah.
Can't really make out the reporting marks on these, but these are some very dirty looking coal cars.
I think I see a BNSF swoosh on all of them, so those are system cars.
Yep, I see it now. Yep.
It's a little grainy.
Goes to CSS, maybe one a month.
Oh, the South Shore? Chicago South Shore?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right, so apparently, let's see here. We got that. That's working.
Could you bump me up like 5 or 10 decibels?
I am going to... All right, try talking again.
Talking, testing.
Yeah.
That's probably better.
So throw some comments out there. Show Evan some love. Let him know that you're out there.
Go ahead,
Yes,
over.
I'm out here somewhere.
Yep, we got it fixed now. Sweetwater is the interchange point. Thank you, Craig, for the information. Definitely appreciate that.
Crossover for the crossover.
Yep, I have never seen a coal train of any capacity go through East Dubuque ever, so this is pretty new to me.
Yeah.
I used to think the taconite train was a coal train.
Oh, there's a CPDPU, so...
That's very interesting. It must have came from Canada.
It says Burns Harbor coal from CP Canada. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and
30 cars stopped.
we're going to jump back over to Belle Plaine.
CTW 4933, over.
Of course, I continue to forget that we have to mute things when we switch from one camera to another. Oh, we don't want that. Here we go. We're going to jump right over to Belle Plaine now, and we're going to see... Whoa. A little bit loud. And we have got an eastbound. This was about 10 minutes ago now that went by Belle Plaine eastbound. Another auto rack train. Heavily graffitied. Oh, yeah. Amtrak 311 is about to pull into Sedalia. All right. Well. Yeah, it doesn't really take them long to get from one end of the siding to the other. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and mute that, and we will head right over to Sedalia. We're going to get our first Amtrak station stop here on Trackside with Tom today. I also got a heads up before the program went on that there is going to be a some kind of a generator load that's going by one of Jeff Rossi's cameras down in Arizona. And if I can find the message, I will definitely get that pulled up and see. I know that if you figure out that that is nearby one of your cameras, throw something into the comments so that we can switch over and check that out. So the Smithton siding is just a little bit outside of Sedalia. Oh, hello, Brett. How are you doing today?
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Yeah. So we are in Sedalia. Our host in Sedalia is the Osage Pawn and Gun, so we appreciate them hosting our newest webcam. No, I don't believe it's nuclear generators. I think it's just generator loads.
No, probably just your everyday diesel generators.
Yeah, probably on depressed center flat cars, I would guess. But still something out of the ordinary. Generators for Snowflake, Arizona. Watching for it on Gallup, New Mexico. Okay, so Evan, if you want to pull up Gallup, New Mexico there in the background, and we can definitely switch over if that ends up showing up while we're on the air live here.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for Amtrak to show up, for those of you that are not aware, the CP is doing some pretty significant upgrades and signaling projects in eastern Iowa, but across their whole system as well, throughout their preparation for this CP-KC merger that's going to go on. And it's one of the reasons why I've been fairly aggressive in putting cameras along the CP, because of the expected increase in traffic, and you know, we'll probably get a lot of KCS power starting to go through eastern Iowa as well. And in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be putting in cameras in Guttenberg next Thursday for sure, and then in Bellevue possibly in 2 or 3 weeks from now. And the CP has signal masts built and a signaling system that they're putting in, CTC, from West Davenport they've made it all the way to north of Bellevue so far. And additionally, they are supposed to be going all the way north to Marquette with this signaling system. So, don't tell anybody on the CP, but when I put in the Dubuque ATCS, I also put in 2 radios to monitor the Canadian Pacific ATCS channel as well, anticipating them doing this. And when I put in the camera in Guttenberg and in Bellevue, I'm going to put in ATCS radios there as well, so that when they actually switch the system on, the hope is that we'll be able to monitor it. We'll have the possibility for being able to monitor that immediately when it comes online. I also, on Monday, I'm going to meet with a potential ATCS host that is on the Illinois side across from LeClaire, because there's going to be control points at the LeClaire siding and a hold signal down at Pleasant Valley. So Amtrak is approaching now. Apparently I've filled enough time. I don't see the gates coming down now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of passengers getting ready to hop on now.
Yep. So I guess the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I am actually trying to be in position to be able to monitor the CP once they get their signaling system put in. Yes, the siding at Lynby, the extended siding at Lynby. There's always been a siding at Lynby. Here comes the gates in Sedalia. But they've doubled the size of the siding at Lynby. Maybe not quite doubled. It's considerably larger than what it was. So here comes Amtrak. That sounds like that charger whistle.
Oh, it's not like an Easter second.
No, it's the horns that they use on those Siemens chargers. Yes. So one of the things I found out while I was in Sedalia actually is that the UP gives Amtrak a minimum axle count that they have to operate with to make sure that they shunt the circuits as they traverse the state of Missouri. and the state of Illinois for that matter too. And so sometimes you'll see things just like extra baggage cars stuck on the end just to be able to make those axle counts that the UP is required. We'll see what's on the end of this one. I can see already we've got one of the older style coaches fourth out back there.
I think they originally tried to call it the
Yeah, 2.3 miles at Linby. I think that the original siding length was around 7,700 feet. So it's more than doubled, I suppose. They got, yep. On the end of the train. So this is a state-sponsored service. It operates, oh, they got 3 baggage cars back there. This is a state-sponsored service. It's called Missouri River Runner Service. And there's 2 trips daily in each direction. Total of 4 station stops each day. But that is the only scheduled westbound that currently operates on this UP Sedalia sub. Now the river sub that's further north follows the Missouri River, and they do directional eastbound running there. However, when the Missouri River floods, they will run traffic in both directions on the Sedalia sub. So that may be something we have to look forward to next spring. So Amtrak is scheduled at 11:50 a.m. westbound into Sedalia. So they're running a little bit late, but it serves the purposes of our program, so I'm not complaining. Well, Evan, do we have anything else interesting or nearby Sedalia here, or should we switch cameras?
We don't have anything more coming on Sedalia anytime soon.
All right.
We had the UP local do a headroom shove over the diamond at 12:12.
Well, let's go over and see what the UP local switch engine power is at Iowa Falls today. We pull up the Mills Tower Railcam, and we're going to back up here just a little bit, a few minutes, and there we go. So let's see what we've got. Oh, that's a little bit loud. We'll bump it down just a hair. So where is the UP switch engine power? I'm not sure what they've been using here. I know that they've had a pair of Jeeps recently. You do occasionally see the SD40Ns. But this looks to me like... Oh, I think we had a little glitch there. But we should be back. Yeah, we had a little bit of buffering there, but we should be back online now. It's been the same for over a month, yes. So we see now the... The UP has a... I don't know if it was... if we caught it or not, but the UP has a small yard there off to the right, off camera. And they have a transfer track with the CN that's also basically directly behind the camera. And so this local is here to switch some of these industries and switch out the CN transfer that happens in the afternoons. So a lot of times if you check out Mills Tower in the afternoons, you will commonly see the 2 CN locals, the 570 and the 571, going through Iowa Falls. Some days they make their meet at Mills. I'm not sure exactly how often, but... Hello, Patrick Shea. How are you doing today? Yep, here goes the 1106 and the 1477 shoving back. All right, so we got the UP local today. And we're going to switch off of that So let's go ahead and... Do you have anything on the St. Croix sub ATCS, Evan? Anything that's particularly noteworthy over there?
Not really, at least not anytime soon.
All right. What about the Clinton sub?
The Clinton sub, we've got an eastbound between Loudon and Calamus line through Grand Mound.
All right.
Otherwise, there isn't too much else. Still waiting for that transformer load on Gallup here, but haven't seen that yet.
Let's go ahead and check out the Carroll webcam. So earlier this week, or maybe it was even last week. No, it was earlier this week. I'm losing track of time here. The ATCS was shut off for the entire Boone sub earlier this week. So monitoring the Boone sub is no longer possible. The nice thing is we do have these signal heads in the photo here at Carroll, and we're about 258.5. I forget exactly how far we are west of Boone, but it's a decent distance. Boone is the crew change point out there. So if you're looking to do some rail fanning out on the west end, between Boone and Missouri Valley, or between Boone and Council Bluffs, this can be a good source of information for you as you're out there. And part of the reason I bring all this up is because part of my vision for putting up all these webcams, 55 miles west of Boone, thank you, Dave. Part of my vision behind putting up all these webcams is to be able to have something to replace ATCS and be able to have some chance of knowing when there are trains out here. So we're going to actually back up just a hair, and we're going to watch a stacker blow through Carroll. Pretty common UP power there on the head end. And container train. Someday, Evan, we need to spend some time actually figuring out what are the origin of all these different types of containers.
Yeah.
I know some of them are very common, right? The XPO logistics, we see a lot of those. The EMP containers. Yeah. And then, you know, you get over onto the BNSF, you see a lot of the Schneider trailers, you see a lot of the JB Hunts, and that's all because of the different marketing agreements that these railroads have with the trucking lines. And with the shippers also, the over or transatlantic, transpacific shippers. So that defect detector is just about a mile to the east. This train is traveling east of the Carroll Depot. So when you hear that defect detector off, you know that if the train is westbound, it's about a mile out. You're going to see them in, you know, a minute and a half, whatever it's going to be. Do I know that the UP plans to send? Yes, I am aware of that. That's the reason why we have a camera in Grinnell and another. I mean, it's not the whole reason. I mean, there are other reasons. I like having the camera in Grinnell. I love the guys that I worked with there. The camera in West Liberty, obviously. It's a fantastic location. There's some mid-train DPU. That looked like an Ace, possibly. But back to the UP moves, to be able to document those and have them on camera. They're going across the Iowa Interstate, so you have to have locations on the Iowa Interstate to put up cameras. And the guys in West Liberty are great. Cliff and his whole group there at West Liberty that maintain the depot. And the people at Grinnell that host the Railway Express building right next to the Diamond there, they've been fantastic to work with, and I really appreciate their help as well. And their willingness to allow us to host a webcam there. And those two webcams in particular are going to be able to capture these UP moves when they end up going eastbound across the Iowa Interstate over to Silvis. Yeah, SD70 ACE, that's right. That was that mid-train DPU. And we do have, this is a very long Z train, and here are the trailers. Although, I guess just one trailer. The rest of those were all just single stacks. Yes, they will go through Fremont, Nebraska also, that's right. They'll have to move them from Cheyenne over to Omaha and then into Council Bluffs. And then I'm sure the Iowa Interstate will have to look everything over and make sure it's acceptable to move across their railroad. And there is the end of our double stack train through Carroll. So that went through at 12:08, it looks like. We're going to shut off the volume there. And we are going to go ahead and pull up. Do we know if the Iowa Interstate has gone through West Liberty already this morning? They usually have a train that goes through West Liberty around this time of day, but we have not managed to catch it on camera yet. And so I wonder if we're able to back up a little bit and catch it, possibly, if it's already been by. I don't know, and I'm searching through the history, and I don't see it. So maybe the Iowa Interstate, well, maybe we can actually catch the Iowa Interstate over at West Liberty today. That would be something new for a Trackside with Tom episode as well.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, definitely. So having said that now, let's go over and check out Greeley, Colorado. And we're going to look back here a little bit and see. I know that I got a message earlier this morning saying that it was pretty slow in Greeley. They was actually wondering if the railroad was actually on strike today, but they're not, and I have found a train. Here come the gates. There's actually a whistle ordinance in Greeley, so trains do not whistle for the crossings as they go by the camera. Looks like we have a regular manifest train here going by Greeley. We've got some open center beam flat cars, a bunch of tanks, although tough to tell what the commodities might be. And I think that's an Amtrak boxcar that just made its way by. You see those floating around in lease service sometimes. But those Amtrak boxcars were actually from an attempt at Amtrak to add some, to be able to add some revenue to their long distance trains by also hauling some express freight in boxcars, generally on the long distance trains. It was we'll say it was a short-lived experiment. It certainly did not last particularly long.
I heard it was actually fairly successful. It was just the freight railroads weren't okay with them pulling freight on their railroad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a huge moneymaker. You know, the only thing that made long distance trains profitable, and then the class ones that they were running on got mad at them, and then they started adding restrictions to how many cars they could have full of freight.
Yeah. Autos going to the logistics park at the north side of Denver. That would make sense. So let's go ahead and I've got one eye over here on West Liberty also, but we're gonna go ahead and switch over to Grand Mound. I'm guessing that our eastbound is probably getting close to Grand Mound by about now. Look at that. Perfect timing then.
Yeah, go ahead and put it in. Try that over.
Let's see what's going on in Grand Mound.
And 7814, you guys are ready to go. Following that to here, correct, over?
So the dispatcher here that you can hear off of this Grand Mound Tower is actually the same dispatcher that's talking to the trains that are changing crews down in Clinton. A lot of times you can only hear half the conversation because you can't hear the train from 25 miles away. You can also occasionally hear them. Oh yeah, Craig, that train was headed towards Cheyenne. That was a northbound. Yeah, sorry. So, when you listen to this Grand Mound feed, you will hear the dispatcher talking, for instance, to CP trains that are going north across 5th Street in downtown Clinton, which is where the CP and UP cross each other. It's not a diamond anymore, but it's a pair of crossovers there in downtown. And we're just waiting for an eastbound UP train. What main is he going to be on?
The North Main.
Main 1 in this case.
If we want to switch over to West Liberty, the westbound came through already.
It did.
At 11 o'clock sharp, and I think you should go check it out because it is pretty cool.
All right, well, we'll pause this quick. We can always come back to our friends on the UP because they have
I'll keep an eye on them all in.
no shortage of trains. So you're saying right at 11 o'clock.
Right at 11 o'clock sharp, just
Oh,
before.
there it is. We have an eastbound. UP 1943 passed earlier this morning. Well, we might have to go back and take a look at that too. But right now we have an approaching Iowa Interstate train. They made good time. They were a little bit early this morning. And we have the Rock Island Heritage Unit leading. Very nice. Look at that. And the container traffic on the head end, just as God and Henry Posner intended it. It really is. Some shorty hoppers there, cement hoppers possibly. Yeah, rock cars, riprap cars. Yeah, for those of you that are not familiar with it, that 513 is the former, or the Rock Island Heritage Unit, the Iowa Interstate. Well, there's the rear. I guess it was kind of a shorty today. And because the Rock Island is the previous owner of this Iowa Interstate traffic, they have two. They have the 513, and then they have another engine that's also lettered in the Rock Island speed lettering as well. So, thank you for the intel on that, Evan. Appreciate it.
I figured they went by at some point.
Right. Just didn't realize how early it was.
Right.
All right, we're going to go over to East Dubuque because we've got some traffic here. So that's the end of it. Oh, that is not. That's actually me talking about the train that we watched go by East Dubuque a little bit ago. So we're just going to get rid of that so it doesn't come up again. All right, back over to Grand Mound then. Do we have... We didn't miss it, did we? No. Nope. Oh, there comes the gates. Look at that. Perfect timing. What are we going to get on the UP today? This is another one where the camera is right next to a defect detector. It's literally just off camera to the left. well, 2 GEs and an EMD going by. And another container train. You know, this is the reason, right, why the strike would have been such a big deal if it had actually gone through. Because all of these containers sitting and not moving, it would not have taken very long for there to be a ginormous crisis of inventory at all of the places that you shop at. And I think that in general, you know, the public doesn't really have a great concept of how much stuff actually moves by train for hundreds of miles before it gets on a truck and goes to their local Walmart or Hy-Vee or Dollar General or wherever it ends up. We got some CR England containers on here. Those green ones, I forget how to pronounce that, but you do see there's a Martin trailer. I think that's another trucking company. Some yellow trailer. So here's your trailer on flat cars. This is your high priority express type mail. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's why they're dragging by here kind of slow then. Yep. So we've got these yellow trailers. We've actually got some empty flat cars going by as well. All right. Well, there is the end. That's the Salt Lake City train. All right. Let's see if we can back up a little bit. And maybe we can find this UP 1943 if we back up just a hair. Where are we going to? We're going to go back and go back and go back. And we're looking for, it must have literally been the previous, no, it's not that one.
I think it came through around 9 or 10.
I think.
It's been stuck on a coal set for eternity, but it's stuck trailing, so
Oh.
until that changes, we're not seeing that thing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, that's fair.
It'll taunt us numerous times trailing, but
Yes. The classic trail fail.
right. The spirit of the Union Pacific, everyone, is stuck trailing for eternity.
Yes.
92 day.
I'm going back and I'm looking, and there's actually been quite a bit of traffic. Oh, I think I found it. I think I found it. Let's take a look here. Right here, let's take a look. Gates are coming down.
UP detector, milepost 24.9.
They are. The bugs are very excited that there's a train going by. This guy is kind of dragging his feet through here also. Yep, there it is, 1943. The World War II heritage unit for the Union Pacific. So we've got, I wonder if this was a doubled up loaded coal train? Yeah. I know that there's been, from documenting these coal trains going through from Carroll to Belle Plaine to Grand Mound, what we've discovered is that some of them actually get split up at Beverly, which is really crazy to me because Beverly is not a crew change point. But apparently maybe they're cabbing crews out there from Clinton. I don't know. But it's interesting to be able to see a little bit of insight into the operations that the UP is doing, and the whatever logic that actually goes into it or lack thereof. This guy is just dragging by. You know, we don't know for sure because this was 2 hours ago now. But it's possible that, yeah, Beverly or Boone for the split. You see, I would have expected that they would have actually been splitting the trains up at Boone. That would have been the thing that seems like it would make the most sense to me, but of course that's not what they does. That's not what they do. But we've definitely documented them being split at Beverly as well. So, loaded coal train. And we are going to... We are not going to watch this entire loaded coal train go by, as much as that, you know, might be interesting to some people. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Manly right now. Is there anything on the scope there at Cedar Falls Junction? Because we have not managed to catch a train at Cedar Falls Junction while we're online here either. Oh, is he out there switching at that park? Yeah. Yeah, 1 block of occupancy. And it shows that electric lock switch being locked up as well. Well, you know what we're going to do, honestly? We're going to go back, and we're going to see if we can find the Iowa Northern across Cedar Falls Junction, because we have not seen the Iowa Northern through Cedar Falls yet. This is, you know, you talk about like the rare speckled owls that we try to capture once in a while. If we back up a ways here, is the Iowa Northern gone through Cedar Falls this morning? And I do not know the answer to that. 338's leaving Dyersville. All right, well, he's not going to get down to Dubuque. 338 sometimes we can get at Dubuque if he puts his head end around the curve there. But otherwise, it's kind of tough to get 338. Oh, wait, I found it. I found it. Look at that. Here we go. We are going to see the Iowa Northern going by Cedar Falls. So this guy is going westbound. And on the Iowa Northern, he's actually going to be turning north. So a little ways past here, the Iowa Northern is operating on trackage rights on the CN through this exact area. So he's got 2 Jeeps and a slug unit there in the middle. So what you see is that he's whistling for the crossing on the other side of Merlin's Curve now. So as the Iowa Northern goes through here, they're utilizing trackage rights on the CN from West Waterloo to Cedar Falls Junction. And this is a westbound move. The CN trains that you see by here continue west toward Fort Dodge. The Iowa Northern trains split off at Cedar Falls Junction, which is about a mile west of where this camera is, and head up toward Manly. And this is a result of the Iowa Northern losing their main line when the 4-lane highway was put through downtown Waterloo. Train at Sedalia Junction getting on the Davenport sub. Yeah, well, that's great, but it's a long way from Muscatine. We won't be able to see that.
We've got an eastbound right on top of Grand Mount on the other main.
Okay. Well, we will definitely go back and grab that as soon as we're done rolling by this Iowa Northern train. Yeah, he was just a little shorty. Mostly a tank train from what it looks like. And he is disappearing. This bridge down here, by the way, this overhead steel truss bridge is actually a fantastic photo opportunity as well. So we're going to go ahead and pause this, and we will go back over to Grand Mound. Go to live, and is the eastbound by Grand Mound? Do I need to back up a little bit? Yeah, I see it. I found it now. Here we go. This isn't the same train that we just watched, was it? Or is there another one? Okay. No, this is the same train. Yeah, I rewound it. Yep.
Yeah, no, there's another one right behind it that's only... It's on the block next to the control point, so those gates should be coming down any second.
All right. We will wait for the next train to show up here at Grand Mound, because apparently it is very, very close. So while we're here waiting for this next train to show up, I'm just going to throw out there my daily self-promotion. We need new managers here. Hey, we identified the problem quickly and reacted and resolved the problem. So thank you for the commentary there from the Peanut Gallery. Anyway, check out steel-highway.com. If you want to submit photos, I'm looking for photos of Polar Express trains and Polar Express trains, holiday trains, all sorts of different stuff that is holiday related. Company Santa trains. That's what we're looking for. The next time that, for the first week of October, is going to be the deadline, and I will be sending out an email about all this as well. We're going to be having a holiday-themed issue for November of 2022, the fourth quarter issue. So, any photos that you have that you'd like to submit to the magazine, I've had some photos submitted already. The ones that I've got are fantastic, and I'm always happy to get more. So we are definitely looking for photos for the next issue of the Steel Highway magazine. Oh, the Nightbot caught somebody. Yeah, this is something that's worth pointing out. If you're going to put in timestamps and you're going to put in train symbols into the chat for a particular webcam, if you put it in all caps, the Nightbot will time you out for 5 seconds. The reason being is that when spam bots show up, they often are going to be in there looking for things that are all caps. So that's the way Nightbot is set up. Just be aware of that. We'll take old photos. We'll take current photos. Anything will work. So definitely send whatever you've got that's related to holiday-themed trains. And we're not seeing this train. Evan, you got an update for us on?
Well, he's still got a light, and that one train is well ahead of him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's just really crawling. I know it's a little bit of a hill outside of town, but
it is.
It's still nothing crazy.
It's upgrade from Calmus to Grand Mound. Winter shots? Oh yeah, absolutely. Snowplow shots, winter shots, anything that you've got that's definitely. Let's see here. Mount Pleasant Cam and empty around. I'm not following your message there, Craig, unless you're saying that there's coal empties going by Mount Pleasant. We can definitely go check that out. So let's go ahead and pull up Mount Pleasant. So while I'm bringing this up, just remember, check out steel-highway.com. Oh yeah, we have got some coal empties going by Mount Pleasant. That is exactly what Craig was trying to share with me. A load and an empty coming. Okay. Got it. So let's blow this up. The empties just went by. What did we have for power on these coal empties? You never know when you're going to get an executive Mac or something really exciting going through Mount Pleasant. So these coal trains do seem to be kind of a refuge for older power on the BNSF. Two loads around CP 250. All right, well that's good to know. So that's about 14 miles away. We probably won't see both of them, but we'll see one anyway for sure. All right, here comes our set of empties. And nothing too exciting, just some GE power there at Mount Pleasant. Cruising along with their coal empties. So thanks for the heads up there on that particular move. And we're very thankful to the host at Mount Pleasant for cutting back the trees also, allowing us to see the signal heads a lot better as well. Okay. Well, we will head right over to East Dubuque then. Oh, cutting down trees, yes. East Dubuque is also on that list, that's right. We definitely need to cut down the trees, the foliage at East Dubuque.
It is becoming a bit of a problem.
It is.
Compared to when we first had it up. You could at least see them at night, but now there's a couple of...
That's good, you did 4933.
I feel like somebody must have been out there watering that tree all summer and making it grow. Yeah. Nothing around East Dubuque. All right. Well, that's unfortunate, but never you mind. We are going to go over to Mills Tower, and we'll see what we can find for traffic on the UP at Mills Tower, because we have not actually caught a UP train going across the Diamonds at Mills Tower yet. So let's back this up and see if we can find it. And while I'm looking for this, hopefully I can find something. We're going to just remind everybody, go to steel-highway.com and check out the website. Make sure and subscribe if you have not already. Oh, well, this is the local again. This is the local going south. All right. So we'll watch him roll by here quick. See what he's bringing. So the UP has the yard off to the right. They also have some yard tracks off of the siding. The Argonne siding is just to the north, kind of around this curve and through the trees on the left on the UP. And they have some storage tracks, a small yard up there at Argonne as well. And then they have some customers that they switch off of the siding also up on the north side of Iowa Falls. And what we're seeing here is an awful lot of tank cars. So I'll admit I am not particularly familiar with the traffic patterns around Iowa Falls, but it does seem like that the local often has a lot of tank cars that they are shuffling around. There's some 3-bay hoppers. A little bit of graffiti art on the side of that first one. some dirty 3-bay hoppers.
Oh, here comes our train on Grand Mound.
All right, let's switch back over to Grand Mound. We are going to...
Oh, yeah? No.
No, he is not. He's got a CMW hopper there, second out. Single, the one-unit wonder there on the head end. These NS box cars, these are some of these big NS box cars that have the... There's a Conrail box car also. These are the auto parts box cars with these plug doors on them. That looks like a big load of scrap. Some rail boxes, some short rail boxes, some T boxes. This guy is just crawling. I can't tell for sure. These may be ethanol tanks with the red placards on the side. There's a load of lumber. That kind of grayish looking hoppers with the stripes along the side, those may have been Cargill hoppers at one time. Some ARMN refrigerated box cars. There's some curve-sided hoppers for you. Yeah, those auto park box cars that were up on the head end. Those are not commonly seen. I would say, I would go so far to say as they're not commonly seen. You see a lot of them on the NS because they have a lot of auto traffic over there. More rare on the UP, at least in eastern Iowa anyway. TTX box cars. There's a coil car, steel coil car, some more tanks. Propane tank cars, yep, that is very possible too. There's a bright yellow UP box car. You think that's the same one that we saw? Maybe not. Yeah, I'll tell you, this feels a lot like a train that's headed for the BRC. With all of these, the Conrail and NS boxes on them. Auto racks now. There's a Canadian Pacific auto rack with the beaver on it. KCS, CSX. I don't know that I've seen. That's a CSX auto rack. There's a Santa Fe auto rack, I think. Uh-huh. CN auto rack. So we've got some. There's our DPU. 1 by 1 so far. Well, yeah, this is the definition of precision scheduled railroading right here. Yeah, massive train, minimal amount, basically the bare minimum. There's an Amtrak boxcar. Heavily graffitied, difficult to tell. A Southern Pacific boxcar, too. And some more steel coil cars. Oh yeah, but we were talking about precision scheduled railroading, right? This is a long train with the bare minimum of horsepower on it to get across the railroad. Yeah. Uh-huh. And just dragging across the subdivision, right? I mean, he might be doing 25 mile an hour through here. Yeah. Oh, an ex-Budweiser beer car. All right. It was kind of tough to tell with all the graffiti on that car. There's some loads of lumber. A Wisconsin Central boxcar. Also pretty rare. Yeah. Yeah, I hope the reefers don't lose AC. It is a hot day outside. There's an open boxcar. Somebody forgot to close the plug doors, or the sliding doors. Man, this guy is just dragging along. Ex-MRS cars were used a heavy on the Tulsa to St. Louis on the BNSF Cherokee sub. Interesting. Yeah, you ever see anybody jump out of an open box car though? That would be a little more. That would be a little more interesting. Wisconsin or Cedar Grove warehousing. All right. And we're back into more auto racks. There's a YN2 CSX auto rack. Did you see that? Yeah. Uh-huh. Conrail auto rack. And our rear DPU. Man. It would be kind of interesting to put speedometers on some of these webcams to be able to see how fast they're moving. All right, well, it's 1:06. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Evan, for joining me today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And make sure and check out steel-highway.com and order your magazine if you haven't already. And we will be back next week. We will be here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. And on Monday, I'm going to be meeting with some potential hosts. And on Thursday, I'm installing webcam in Guttenberg. So have a great day. Thank you very much, everyone.